All right, guys, as the elder stated, Xavier, let's just start with a quick opening statement. Your thoughts on the run game here today, the offense, and just the big winners.
Very, very proud of everybody coming together as a team, especially the O-linemen, the coaches, the players, special team, all the phases of the game came together and found a way to win.
It was a great game plan going into it all week, and just shout out my O-line. You know, they was clearing holes all day, and I couldn't do it without them. Me or my guy right here.
All right, let's open it up for some questions. Alan Malcolm, the Record Courier, let's start with you.
Marquez, after all that, how did it feel to be able to, get those first downs at the end of it? Just an absolutely crazy game like that. And the last thing I know you wanted to do is give them the ball back. But to be able to end it that way and be able to kneel down at the end after you get some first downs there right at the end.
It definitely felt great to close the game, on the other #1 team in the MAC right now. And, I'm just so glad for my O-line. I'll repeatedly say it over and over again, because it's not just the work of me. It's the work of all of us, and I appreciate all my coaches too.
Xavier, it's hard to believe, but you guys actually got off to a little slow start. And I thought you kind of came in and you popped some runs yourself to kind of get things going. Just talk about that.
Yes, sir. Just piggybacking off of what Coop Marquez said, thank you for the O-line. They really did a major job tonight, like they do every week. And the coaches giving the right calls for the right situations, and just the team pulling together as one.
Just both of you, just what's it like to play in a game like that? Just, just so many things happen and back and forth, and obviously on a huge stage. Just talk about what that was like, and then just playing in games like this and how, something that's going to happen a lot, basically, the way you guys are playing, obviously.
With me, that's action. That's football. You never know what's going to come. You never could plan anything. You never know. All you can do is just keep working, keep pushing, and follow the plan all the way.
We knew going into the game it was going to be a 4-quarter fight, and you just can't get too high. You just can't get too low, because you just got to work every single minute of the game. So.
Alan, any other questions here for the guys?
I'm good. Thanks a lot.
All right, let's move on to Jack Purdy from TV2. We got a couple more guys to go.
Yeah, this one's kind of for both of you. Both of you averaged almost over 7 yards per carry. Was it your plan coming in to establish the run throughout the whole game?
Yes, sir. I mean, every week is a plan to come establish a run. Let them know who's running up front with our thing for our line, being tough. That's what we build our culture on, being toughness. So, yeah, that's what we already knew that was going to happen, like we've been doing every week.
Yeah, like he said, every week, we are planning to establish the run. Me and my guy right here, that's what we do. 1 and #2.
Yes, sir.
All day.
And this is the last one for me. It can also be for both of you. You guys are in first place in the MAC East. You're in sole possession of first place. You control your own destiny. Just how big is that for you guys? How does that make you feel as a football team and for you two in general?
It feels amazing. I mean, ain't nothing like to be the top and everybody just chasing after you. I mean, there's nothing but just keeping your head down, keep working, keep pushing, never get too high. Just like Coop just said, never get too high, never get too low. Just keep working no matter what happens.
It feels amazing. We're making history, and it's just a blessing,
All right, guys, we'll wrap things up with James Oswald from the Kent Standard.
Yeah, this is for both of you. Just your quarterback Dustin, not only getting it done with his arm, but has the ability to get it done with his feet. Kind of talk about his ability to run and shed tackles and get in the end zone like that.
It's just another part of the offense. It's just like another dual threat. You never know what he's going to do with the ball in his hand. Could be throw or run just as well as everybody else is doing on the field.
Yeah, he's a great leader. Ever since I got here, he helped me with the playbook. He helped me with everything. And, he's just a great, general, great chief of the offense. He always in control and always calm and cool.
Your guys' mantra is flash fast offense. And you guys were really, doing that today, scoring another 2 minutes on a lot of those drives. Can you talk about what it's like going out there and working so quickly and getting in the end zone?
To be honest, it's just a repetition of practice. That's what we're doing every day. Every time we get on the field for practice, it's just being shown to the world now that everybody can see it, and that's not at our practice.
Can you repeat the question? I couldn't really hear you.
Oh yeah, you guys, really practice flash fast offense, and you guys were really big on that today. A lot of the drives you scored in under 2 minutes. Just kind of talk about, what it's like to go out there and work so quick and get in the end zone.
I mean, we go over this every single day. It's been a very key focal point, ever since I got here, and that's what we do, and we're flash fast.
That's it for me, guys. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Next, take your water if you need it. Enjoy it, guys. All right, guys, we got Coach Lewis stepping in here. In just a few moments, we'll let him start with an opening statement, then open it up for some questions.
Hey everyone, obviously a great win. We'll take it. That was a lot of fun. Good to go and have a marquee primetime matchup, and for the boys to respond. I thought it was great the way that the guys settled into the game. We knew it was going to be a 4-quarter fight, and obviously kind of didn't get off to the start offensively that we wanted to, but the defense did a good job holding their own early on. Huge turnover there, the only turnover of the game, to where we were able to then flip the field and get things rolling a little bit. And then all along, the way these action games are, all the games last night and then this game tonight, it's just something about the beauty of action, to where you're going to get points, you're going to get action, and it's going to be a 4-quarter battle. And our guys found a way to continue to stay undefeated at home. Might be some magic in those powder blues. I don't know what it is, but I'll take it. And it's great to be sitting alone atop the East, and to have a little bit of time to soak up the win tonight, and then go forward and learn from it, grow from it, be better as we head up to face a really good Central Michigan team in a week from tonight.
Well, let's open it up for questions. Let's start with Steve Helwick from the Hustle Belt. Steve, you got any questions for Coach?
Yes, Coach, we saw Dustin Crum come out tonight. He had the first 2 rushing touchdowns of the game, and we haven't seen Crum run like that as much this season, and he's been getting bottled up. So how did the improvements of the offensive line contribute to that performance that you saw from him on the ground tonight?
I mean, I've been pretty pleased with our offensive line all year, Steve. They've done a great job proving, making holes and paving the way for our backs. And, as we get into these championship rounds later in November, you got to be willing to push all your chips in and go all in. And so, with the play calling, we kind of set up some things schematically to where, he would run the ball a little bit more, because we knew this was a marquee game. We were committed to win this game. And so we pushed our chips in, and that was a part of it, so he ended up rushing, I think, for 4 times, in very efficient spots. We like to say that when we run our quarterback, we're going to run for first downs, we're going to run for touchdowns. So, he had 4 rushes, and I think 3 of the 4 were either a first down or a touchdown. So we'll take that, and we'll be all right, and we'll keep it pushing.
And then in the first quarter, Northern Illinois was up 14-3, and the lead could have been bigger, but you guys forced a key turnover on Tyrese Ritchie, getting that fumble on the 15-yard line. You guys lead the country in turnover margin right now to +15. How do you stay that efficient on both ends at keeping care of the ball and forcing it on the other way?
Yeah, I think you get what you emphasize, and it's one of our controllables in our program and in our plan to win. You got to control the controllables, and the ball's everything. It's so important. They name the game after it, right? It's football. So you better go get it, and you better protect it. And so our kids know that. We value it. We take time each and every single week to where we put a premium on doing a ball security takeaway circuit. And our defense knows that it's an emphasis for us, and they play with relentless effort and relentless attitude to go get the ball out. And our guys on the offense side of the ball, they know the importance, and we lean into the analytics and what the data says. I mean, I'm not very smart, but I know that if we can win that turnover margin, we have a better chance of winning each and every single game. So we do that consistently, week in and week out. And when you look up and we're in the position that we are, but we got to go do that again next week. That means we got to put in the work this week to continue to do that.
My final question is, Northern Illinois has a very interesting offense. Just 2 games ago against Bowling Green, they only threw the ball 8 times. And then tonight you see Rocky Lombardi come out, throw for over 500 yards. So how do you prepare for an offense that has shown the ability to have 200-yard rushers this year, and then suddenly just flip their script and air the ball out like that?
Man, it's tough, right? I mean, they're very balanced. They got a lot of weapons in a lot of different ways. And, we were committed to stopping the run. We believe that that's, again, a key to victory for us. And they were averaging well over 200 yards coming in this thing. We held them to under 140, on 39 attempts. So they were forced to then throw the football. And again, they got talented playmakers all over the yard. And they showed that tonight. So he was able to distribute the football, but there's a lot of great players, there's a lot of great coaches in this league. And so you got to be willing to roll your sleeves up, do the work week in and week out to prepare in a lot of different ways. And then when you get into the moment, you got to go harder, longer. We talk about toughness, that being emotional toughness, mental toughness, physical toughness. In these 4 quarters fights, you just got to find a way to score one more point than them. We did that. We'll take the win. We'll keep it moving.
Let's move things along to Alan Moff from the Record Courier.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned the first quarter kind of just wasn't typical at all of you guys and making some mistakes and this and that. And did you see the second quarter coming after that?
Yeah, I trust our guys. I got faith in our guys. I mean, we had 6 plays in that first quarter, if I'm not mistaken. I know it was less than 10, and we had 2 drops. We had a false start penalty. That's not who we are, and I don't know if it was just a deal of, hey, we hadn't played in 10 days and whatever the case might be. Again, for the 3rd week in a row, a team comes out, and Northern Illinois have been exclusively a 4-2-5 team. And they come out and they play a 3-3 stack against us. So we spend 10 days preparing for a 4-2-5, and they come out and play a completely different style of ball. So we got to adjust. And again, we kind of talked about that, a few days ago in the press conference, right? Like it's a chess game. You got to see how the plays and the pieces are moving on the board. And because of our style of play and the uniqueness of it, never seeing those guys, they thought that was the best way to go about it. So we had to settle in. We had to make some corrections. And when our kids did that, we got a really talented squad. And as long as, again, we're controlling the controllables, we don't have foolish penalties, we're able to execute and do things of the caliber that we do them. I mean, our staff's done a tremendous job of recruiting the right players here and developing the kids who are here. And then we were able to go out and execute to the level that we're capable of.
I mean, when you look at that second quarter, I mean, is that just, when you kind of visualize what your offense can do and what it is and that type of thing, is that basically what you can do right there? I mean, I think every drive was less than 2 minutes. I think all your touchdown drives were less than 2 minutes.
I think we lead the country right now in touchdown drives less than 2 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. And again, it's a testament to our kids. They're all into our style of play in all 3 phases. They know the benefit of it. And it's not easy to play this way. I mean, it's hard. It's hard work to be trained in the manner in which we are so that we can create this tempo and create this stress, that we put on defenses. But our kids love it. They embrace it. A lot of guys get touches. The O-line takes pride in at the end of the game to finish it the right way. I tell you what, we got unselfish kids that was really easy there for Coop to go score. And it's such a headsy play by him to go down and end the thing on the right way and end it with, the greatest call that you can make and just go, hey, QB kneel, victory formation, and let's go home and ride this thing out. So, yeah, I mean, it's everything we talked about back in December 2017, right? And that we've been working forward towards this moment. And again, there's lots of good things. There's too many 3 and outs. And so we got to clean that up as we go forward, but we'll worry about that tomorrow.
We talked a little bit about, earlier in the week about experience being a factor. And obviously these guys are really young, got a ton of freshmen, sophomores. You guys are a very veteran team. When do you think that was played in as big as you thought it would? And obviously in the second quarter, it kind of kicked in.
I think competitive maturity and game reps are invaluable, right? As much as all of us coaches across the country try and make practice as much like a game as possible, when you're underneath the lights and you're on national TV and you're on a stage like this, I mean, that's not something that you can replicate day in and day out in practice. So to have the number of veterans that we do and the competitive maturity that they have so that they could withstand the ebbs and the flows of that game, knowing, again, in these championship rounds, you're going to land some punches and you're going to take some punches. So I thought our team did a really good job of never getting too high or really getting too low and being able to ride this thing out and find a way to win and to stay undefeated at home. And that's the most important thing this time of year.
Alan, any other questions?
I'm good. Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Let's move over to Jack Brady from TB2.
Hey, Coach, the middle 8, you say it nearly every week how important it is. You scored 21 unanswered on your last 2 drives of the first half and your first drive of the second half. Just how crucial is that tonight?
I mean, we pride ourselves and our kids do a great job of situational awareness. We actually took some time during this 10-day to pull some clips from some different people around the country that we could learn from, that we could grow from, because I believe a smart man learns from his own mistakes, but a wise man can learn from other people's mistakes. And so, shoot, we won that middle eight, which was critical, right? And then, just learning and knowing from, just last night to where, again, at the tail end of the game, they have one timeout, we get the first down, and we're talking about it on that 2nd and 1 to where, hey, if they try to let us score, go down, because we know that the situation's there, and you play keep away of sorts, right? So those situational things, Coach Sauter, our offensive coordinator, he's like a time management savant, so I step back and he takes center stage on all those things. And our kids really lean into it because, again, they know it's a competitive advantage. I think where a lot of kids would get really bored with that, like, we got some nerds, and I say that, really respectfully, that they lean into it and they know that if we do this thing the right way, it's a huge competitive advantage. And maybe because we got an aerospace engineering leading the charge there offensively, he forces everyone else to come along for the ride. But I mean, it's being situationally aware, I think, is a superpower, and our kids really lean into it, and it's great stuff.
We obviously talked about the pass defense, giving up over 500 yards, but I thought you guys did a good job of, holding the number 12 rushing offense in the country under their season average. Just talk a little bit about how you were able to limit Northern Illinois' ability to run football.
Yeah, again, it goes into the preparation, the work that our kids put in, and the plan that Coach Kaufman and the defensive staff put together, right? I mean, that had been their dominant hand, right, so to speak, to where they had been running the ball really, really well. And we want to make people beat us with their left hand. And their quarterback had a heck of a night, and the receivers obviously are some dynamic playmakers, but we knew going into it that they had been leaning heavily on the run, and we wanted to stop that, and we held them well below their season average, and again, you commit to that. And like we talked about on Monday, when you commit numbers to the box to stop the run, then people got to, show up and win those one-on-ones on the edge. And we did that well at times. And there's times we got to be better at it, and we can help them schematically as coaches. But again, we'll worry about that 24 hours from now. The kids found a way. They fought hard. They flew to the ball. I thought they were really, really physical tonight and played with great effort, swarming to the ball. And, we can coach that, obviously, as we go forward with all, because the effort and the attitude is tremendous to grow and to get better and to play this beautiful game.
Last one for me. Can you talk a little bit about the two-header monster we just talked to, Xavier Williams and Marquez Cooper? Just how much of a luxury it is to have not one, but two dynamic running backs out of the back.
Yeah, I mean, it's a luxury in that they're so selfless, and it doesn't matter, who's getting the carries, whose series it is. They're right there for one another. They're picking each other up. They're each other's greatest cheerleader. And, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the job that Coach Johnson's doing with those guys and the way that he's galvanized that room and the way that he leads them. But again, the kids do a great job kind of leaning into, their roles, and they each have a unique set of skill sets. And, it's kind of like salt and pepper, right? I mean, they complement each other so well, and you're able to lean on both of them. So, we're very fortunate. It is a luxury, but it's a luxury that we've built over time through recruiting, because we do it daily. And those guys are tremendous, tremendous assets and players. And more importantly, they're great young men that don't care who gets the glory, or doing what's needed to win, right? Again, like, I can't say enough about Coop going down there at the end, and he didn't even hesitate when we were talking about it during that last time out. Like, okay, yeah, that's going to guarantee the win. No problem. Done. So it's tremendous.
Let's wrap things up with James Oswald from the Kent Standard.
Yeah, Coach. Xavier Williams and Marcus Cooper both talked about their O-line. That same O-line doesn't Crum get sacked at all tonight. Can you talk about them and just how they did today, especially after, it's been a season of how much you have to shuffle them around and everything?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the game's won and lost there, right? Like, this isn't rocket science. We knew this was going to be a physical 4-quarter fight, and we talked about it on Monday, to where you could look to the trenches and whoever won the line of scrimmage, who was more physical, who could execute with discipline in the trenches, was going to be the team that was going to win. And to have a clean sheet in terms of, you throw the ball 30 times and you keep the quarterback upright and he's not sacked, and you're able to, rush the ball for, 360 yards on 45 attempts, I believe it was. Like, that's a heck of a job by them. And again, that goes to the kids' work and the way that they lean into it, the preparation that they did over the course of the 10 days, and those guys staying ready no matter who's up. I mean, we talked about it early in preseason about the depth that we've cultivated there and the depth that we've developed under Coach OB's leadership. Going into it, we knew that we had 7, 8, 9 guys that we could play, and we've needed every single one of them, and they've stayed ready, and they've jumped in, and they've done their jobs to the best of their ability. And again, as their head coach, that's all I could ask for. And it's great to lead these young men.
we mentioned the passing game and how well they did in it. What do you think your secondary wasn't really doing well to kind of allow them to, pass like that? And as a defense, how are you able to overcome that and still get the win?
Yeah, I mean, there's some good playmakers on that side of the ball now, right? And they did a nice job kind of moving them around and creating some favorable matchups at times. So we got to look at the tape and see where we can assess it and where we can be better, because now that's on film, right? That's going to be something that people are going to look to exploit. But I don't know if many people in the league have a playmaker like 85. He's dynamic now. He picked his parents the right way. He's got some skills. It's again, not to make it simpler than it is, like that's where recruiting is so important, right? And to where we got to do a great job with that. And we'll assess the tape, and again, we put a lot into stopping their run. That's the premium, our plan to win again, right, guys? Control the controllables, run the ball, kill the run, and have more physical cover teams, right? So we did those things when we won the ball game. And when you do that, you're going to concede some things. But again, ultimately, the biggest thing is that we got the win, and we'll keep it pushing. We're first place in the East, and we get to go do it again in a week.
Last one for me, you just mentioned that your first place in the East, Miami losing yesterday. You guys are in sole possession and control of your own fate. Can you kind of just talk about your team and about how they put themselves in a position to be like this far into the season?
Yeah, it really comes down to our number one core belief that's on all our stuff, and we put out there in terms of being the alpha, right? And that simple phrase and that belief that we live by is to improve and perform today, right? So it's really as simple as doing the next thing at a championship level so that you can improve. And when it's time to perform, you do it. And our kids have been hyper-focused about that. Everyone else outside the facility can pick us to win the East or, point to a championship opportunity and all those different things. Our kids have done a great job putting the blinders on and just doing the next thing at a championship level. That they've been obsessed with having good habits and doing things the right way and living the life of champions, so that hopefully if we continue to do things the right way, maybe we'll be recognized as champions the first week of December, but that's putting the cart way before the horse, right? We did some great things tonight. We got to clean up from the tape. We got to lean into what we put on tape, the good, the bad, the ugly, as we'll clean up tomorrow and we'll own it. We'll get better from it. And if we do that the right way, then we'll have a chance to have a great Thursday, right? Which is really our Sunday. So then Friday we can have a good Monday, which is really everyone else's Friday. And however else the rest of this action fun goes on Tuesday, which is Saturday, and everything else, right? So again, it's just as simple as that is, right? Not saying that it's easy by any stretch of the imagination, but just do the next thing at a championship level. And if you do that from moment to moment to moment, maybe we'll have a chance to be champions.
All right, Coach, we'll let you have some good, clean American fun. We'll do this again here in a few days.
Go Flashes, everyone. Thanks for your coverage and support.